in a country rebuilding itself from vision, ambition, and discipline, we should solely always ask our question: are we building youth with values, not only based with careers based on knowledge from classes, but are we also building youth that are going to thrive and take on this country with the best values that we're going to have in the next future? So, welcome to today's podcast. My name is Kelly Morigo, and I'm going to be the host of today's podcast. I'm very happy to have the two guests here from different departments.
My name is Alexander. It's beautiful to be here, and I serve with the iLead Rwanda as the Rwanda program manager, and it's so beautiful to be here today. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Merci Alliance and I'm a high school graduate currently taking a college preparatory gap year as I continue my academic journey.
Okay, starting with Mr. Alexander. We are here with a program called iLead program in Rwanda. Could you please tell the audience what is iLead program? What does it do? When did it come to Rwanda? Like, take us through the introduction overview of the program as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. iLead program is a youth values-based leadership program for young people specifically. And it was founded by John C. Maxwell, who runs the different programs across the globe. And it is run under the organization he formed called the Maxwell Leadership Foundation. And Maxwell is a recognized leadership guru across the globe. And because of his credibility in leadership, he thought of a program that will remain as a legacy, because he has other programs that serve the different groups and categories of people. But he thought about the next generation leaders. So the vision of iLead specifically is to raise next generation leaders who are values founded. And it's so beautiful that Rwanda had an opportunity when His Excellency Paul Kagame went to US in 2019, and he met a couple of people, and part of the people he met there was a group from Maxwell Leadership Foundation. And when they mentioned about a couple of programs they run, when he heard about iLead program being specifically a program for young people and being a program that is values-based, because you will hear him talk about indangagaciro, urubyiruko, imbaraga z'igihugu. So that's why he thought that if this program comes to Rwanda, young people will have an opportunity to be prepared to take up responsibilities and sustain the government gains and continue to do great things. And not just for Rwanda, but also for Africa, because you realize that Africa minus values, you don't see Africa. Leadership minus values, you don't see leadership. So he was interested, and he invited a team from US, from Maxwell Leadership Foundation. So a couple of conversations started happening, but eventually Rwanda was chosen to be a number one country in Africa to pioneer the implementation of iLead.
So that really sounds interesting and really very powerful to the youth of Rwanda. Is it only for the youth, or?
So the target group is young people, but it eventually benefits everyone.
Okay.
Because personally, everybody who works with iLead are going through the content, and whoever can get access to this content, talk about a value of choice. Who doesn't want to make right choices in life? Talk about attitude, talk about growth, talk about self-disciplines, talk about honesty, talk about resilience. Everyone on different level needs these values. Only that it is tailored for young people, but everyone else can benefit from it.
Merci, you are a high school graduate and you're working upon your resume, definitely. So would you say iLead has changed your resume, or it has changed your character?
The thing I can say, first of all, I graduated from Cornerstone Leadership Academy, and we had a read program from when I was in senior 4 up to when I was in senior 6, and they're still having it. Yeah, but first I came in contact with iLead on my former school, which is called the Science B'Imana, but it was in A level, so I would go and sneak in senior 4s and borrow the book and go read it when I was still in senior 3. And what I can say about it, iLead is not is not a program to take and put like, this is something I completed. This is something I completed. It's on my resume. I just finished reading a book. Nope. It's something you read and it builds your character. It builds your value system. And even if you don't have like, even if you cannot have like a written proof and put it on your head and be like, I went in, I learned all lessons. People can look from the way you live and the way you interact with other people and see that you really went through iLead.
Okay. Mr. Alexander, you've passed through different leadership programs. So, but most of them they really sound inspiring, but remain theoretical. What makes the iLead program transformative rather than simply motivational?
Yeah, thank you so much. Recently, the CEO of Maxwell Initiatives across the globe, who is called Marco, he shared with the team of Maxwell Leadership Foundation and teams that run other programs. And he shared with them a book that he's reading, and he talked about leadership being more of transformation, not about consumption. So when you look at most of the people or leaders across the globe, they like reading. But reading does not bring transformation. You are feeding your mind information, but the application shows the transformation. So to me, I think the only way you can shift from being theoretical to being practical, it's when what you know in the mind, because it starts there. Having the theory part is very important because that's where it starts from, being aware. That's why even in iLead, the I choose part is more of identifying yourself with the 16 values. That's at a level of awareness. But now when you start taking action on I do, you have gone into a level of application. When you go to iLead, which is the last level, you are more it's more of practice than actually thinking, reflecting, and taking few steps. You are intentional to influence, and you can only give what you have, and you can only influence because people, as he mentioned, are influenced by how you live. Because we teach what we know, but we produce who we are.
Yeah.
People will judge us according to how we live our lives, not about how I am speaking right now. Someone can be inspired by how I'm speaking right now, but that doesn't really bring transformation. What will bring transformation is when people see me on a daily basis and they can say, Alexander is a good leader. Alexander is a person of character. Alexander makes right choices. Alexander has self-discipline. And that cannot be just written and it ends there. You need to live it. Good. Thank you.
So, merci. Most of these today are driven by social media, image, shortcuts to success. Do you think values really still compete in that kind of environment?
Absolutely, yes.
How?
In recent years, we've witnessed a trend in social media coming from long videos to short videos, to shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. And you can find a person scrolling for like 4 hours, hunting a 15 seconds motivation video to give you a dopamine boost and feel like, you know what, they mentioned about this and I'm going to implement it. But there is a difference when you take a program like iLead, especially when you start with I choose, the 16 values, they are not mentioned. They are not talking to you, informing your brain, just your brain. They are feeding you. They are talking to the inner you. They are showing you the capacity you have to put your life on a good track, the capacity to change. And then as you notice that capacity and as you recognize the values mentioned in the book, those values are the ones that influence your actions, as he said in I Do. And when you've learned that you are able to do it and you've put it in actions, that's where you can be a real leader. That's why I say values still count very much than these dopamine boosts.
Okay. Mr. Alexander, iLead program has been operating in Rwanda for almost a couple years, and there is that thing that it has instilled in Rwandan youth. So the question says, if iLead program disappeared, what leadership gap could be visible in Rwandan youth today?
Thank you so much. That's a good question, yet hard. To me, I'll start by what it is contributing, because you can't talk about the gap it will create if you don't know the gap that it has filled.
Okay.
So you realize that Rwanda has done its best to build the education systems, and you can tell by going on the field and see what is happening in different places across the country. You can see smart classrooms, you can see good laboratories, you can see that teachers have been trained to give to teach the modules,
Yes,
to
deliver the content.
deliver the content. But because of Rwanda focusing on rebuilding itself and making sure that key systems and mechanisms that can improve education system, there was this gap, and which is the heartbeat of Rwanda, which is values part. Because when we talk about chemistry, biology, mathematics, physics, history, those are hard skills. And you will find that a student is doing so well in class, has good marks, and gets good degree, a good diploma. But at the end of the day, you can tell that there is a gap.
Okay.
This person doesn't know how to live with other people. When someone does something wrong to him, he will hold it and cannot easily forgive. And you can imagine if this person ends up in an office leading an institution and does not have those values that are foundational for him to know that I'll be working with people as much as I'm smart and have hard skills to do the job, but I'll be working with people with different perceptions, people with different backgrounds, people who don't know about, how to conduct themselves. And I am in position to make sure that they level up, they improve in those areas. So iLead really comes in to blend the soft skill set with the hard skill set to complete a product. And when a student graduates, is not just smart in mind, but is also having the right values that are foundation. There is one person called Aristotle who said that educating the mind and not instilling the values is developing a menace to the society. So you will have a doctor who is smart, but who doesn't know how to talk to the patients.
Wow.
So iLead comes in to fill up that gap. And I believe if iLead disappears tomorrow, we will see the gap. There are so many other good programs like Itorero that are instilling values, but iLead comes in to contribute in a structured way to walk a journey with the student who is receiving hard skills to also have this part filled, which is values, morals part to complete him to become a good product and the next generation leader.
Wow,
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Merci. So you've learned and practiced many values in the iLead program. What was the most difficult value for you personally to consistently practice?
I can say that the hardest was it was commitment.
Commitment.
Yeah,
Okay.
because when they talk about commitment, you start to think like, is that emotion, that burning fire inside you, saying I'm gonna do this, I will commit to this, I'll start this project and carry it on. But when you go in, and then you are shocked by the realities of the world. You find that I thought all people would be cooperative, and this is not the case. I expected the sponsors to come from this side, and this is not what happened. There is something in you that shifts, and when you read the book well, you recognize that they say the award is given to those who finish, not those who start. It's not given to the starters, but finishers, and recognizing that you beyond emotion, beyond that strong fire burning inside you, you still have to carry on the project, even if you have tears as while doing it, even if you are left alone, knowing that it's not always that sweet commitment, that it can sometimes reach where it's kind of bitter, and so you have to still follow it. Like, that's the thing which challenged me most.
Okay, so Merci, you are the top student, right, in the
Yeah.
class of 2024, and you are at the
2025.
2025, and you are
Congratulations.
congratulations. So he's
Yeah.
he's at the national level, and he has succeeded in his education through practicing that commitment value to your education. Take us through that kind of journey and how the iLead program has helped you do that, to
Yeah.
achieve that. Because I think most of the people in school always want to achieve that, and
I'm seated with the superstars.
yeah, and they've made it.
Yeah.
No, it's not that much. Yeah, but I can say that the thing that iLead does to you most, it takes the things that you have to do. It takes like all the requirements, and it puts it in your hands, and it says, you know what, you thought the airplane will move from this place and go to that place, and that's very okay. You were from the starting point and you have an end goal, but you know what, the pilot is you. No one else is going to do that, and you start to by knowing that you have to make a choice to be responsible for your own life. That's basically what it does. If it's, you don't wait for these notes, we write themselves, you write them. That hidden book in the library way that no one else finds, you recognize that you'll be the one to go and find it. You recognize that you own every single part of the success.
Okay.
Your success is not probability, it's your own investment.
Wow, that's really
powerful.
good. So, Mr. Alexander, this podcast is going to be available online for all the people over the world. So, traditionally, education is currently rewarding performance and results. What is iLead bringing in this today's conventional education that's not been there?
Thank you so much. I think when you look at the rewards, when you look at the certificates that you receive, they give you a short-term excitement. And what iLead will give you is a permanent contentment. And that's what matters the most. And it gives you the joy that no one can describe. People can see you happy, but when you are crying inside, because happiness comes as a result of the happenings, but the joy comes as a result of what's happening inside of you. And I believe iLead, when you look at, like he said, like Merci said, that it's that thing that really happens inside of you, and you feel you are responsible of your own success and the journey of life. So I believe iLead comes in to give you that sense of contentment, not satisfaction, and knowing that growth is a journey. Every day you need to do something that makes you a better person. So to everyone who is watching us should know that you, as a person, you need more than what people can see with their own eyes. You need that thing that will pour out the results of what you have invested in the hidden places, and that's values. Values cannot be touched. Values cannot be tangible, but what it gives you can be converted to tangible things. Thank you.
So, most of the youth, most of the students that have passed through iLead program, I can say they're at the market now. What could you tell the employees who are receiving applications from those students who have gone under iLead program? What should they know?
That's that's a good question. A few days ago, I had a meeting in the Ministry of Youth and Arts, and when I entered there, one girl comes running, And she said, "Hi, Alexander, I know you." And I was like, so I was curious to know why she's there. I thought maybe she's there for an event, she's there for maybe something short term, but she was there for a job. She was working, just a high school graduate who went through the process of interviews and she passed everything. But there was something special about her, and I believe everyone who works with her can testify. Because when you meet a student who has gone through iLead and a student who has done so well in class and did not go through iLead, you realize that there is a difference, and the difference is simple. Even the way they conduct themselves on the interview panel is different.
Okay.
Because they know how to conduct themselves. They know how to even answer the questions with confidence, boldness that are not just bubble. Because you realize that someone who has not gone through iLead might potentially be confident, but because of lack of values, he's either overconfident or else it's just a bubble and doesn't know how to conduct himself. So I believe people who are out there and are looking for employees, right candidates to do a good job, teamwork players, people with the right attitude and character, people who are willing to keep learning, people who are willing to admit that they don't know everything and they can learn from others, people who are ready to forgive those who insult them, people who are ready to take up responsibility even when no one is watching them, people who are going to commit on tasks and make sure that they are done. You have to look for iLead student. I don't mean that you have to look for someone who has failed in other areas of life, because by default, the person who has failed iLead so well will even succeed in other aspects of life.
So recently we've seen that iLead program has been succeeding in also other different countries like Uganda, Nigeria. It's because their governments have been able to discover what iLead confronts in students that academics do not do. Merci. Personally, what did iLead confront in you that you've never found in your journey of academics as well?
Yeah, I can say I love the word you used, the conventional. How the kind of education system we are in, it's like you take in chemistry, biology, and physics. You're going to become a nerd, you become a genius, and then you go out. But the real world is so much different from that. For example, currently I'm interning in Bridge to Rwanda, specifically in Isomo Academy, and I can say that the marketplace or the current world does not just need nerds who know how to do things. They need people with values, with characters, and I can say that that's what iRead did to me. Essentially, yes, I can say it helped me stay committed, develop academics, but it gave me another part that schools do not teach. That character, that forgiveness, those values that are still essential to you and to your workplace and to your family everywhere, but still school cannot provide them.
Okay, Mr. Alexander, we are currently in a journey to instill values in the youth, and that's what the President Paul Kagame has worked upon to bring up a iLead program. So, we have this kind of youth outside there that are really critics to different things. So, could you please frame and give them a picture of what kind of youth we would have if we don't have values?
Oh, country without values, young people without values.
Yeah, like give them the message.
So for me, I believe that's why our government is very, very intentional when it comes to instilling values. You realize that when young people don't have values, we'll have prisons filled. We'll have criminals everywhere. And our attention will be finding the solution, which is more of healing the disease that is already there. You are dealing with a cancer that is already there. Yet, values or instilling values is like prevention measures that are helping you. Talk about rehabilitation centers. Rehabilitation centers does not just have young people. They have young people who have gaps of values and morals. And to me, I believe that iLead comes in at a level of prevention where young people take up responsibility of their lives and knowing that the choices they make does not only affect them on a personal level, they affect those around them, they affect the country. You can imagine the budget that goes to rehabilitation centers. You can imagine the budget that goes to prisons. You can imagine the budget that goes in policymakers and to make sure that the things are aligned. You can imagine people who are out there and they're not taking up responsibilities start from families where fathers and mothers, due to lack of the values, because they never had opportunities to go through choices, to go through responsibility, and they feel like, they don't have to take up responsibility to raise their kids, to stay with their mothers, and some mothers are just giving birth and they run away and they throw their kids. So that is due to lack of values. To me, we can talk about values as being just a collective kind of lessons. You can talk about iLead being a book of I choose and I do and I lead, but it does not. There is something more to that.
Yeah.
iLead builds a foundation of a human being. I know we are entering into a world where AI is taking a lead, but AI that has people behind it who don't have emotional intelligence, right characters, we will end up getting results that are given by AI that are not right and are not helping. But these values are here for people to live them, and when they live them, we have a better economy, we have a developed country, we have people who are ready to take up responsibility to reach this nation to where it is supposed to be. So there is a trend where most of young people who are brilliant and they have big dreams, they feel they cannot succeed while they are here. They want to go abroad for their lives to change. But when you get to, I've had a chance to go to abroad, and when you hear what people talk about, they say opportunities and the future of the world is in Africa. So to me, iLead really comes in to let you know that the opportunities are actually within you, not outside you. And the opportunities are where you are, not outside in the external kind of environments. And that's why the government of Rwanda, because when you look at how our Rwanda is being built, it is very strategic in a way that ownership, taking responsibility is not in the hands of someone else or any other nation. And that's why the government is making a call. Hey, young people, we have done our best because my age and most of the people at my age or your age are the people who took initiative to liberate this country. And what we need to do as this generation is to say, this is what the government has done. And they never started at 50. They started when they were at the same age as we are. And it is our responsibility to understand that we have the foundation, but we are the ones to raise walls. And these walls cannot be built if we don't have right values. You cannot do it if you don't have resilience. You cannot do it if you don't have right character. You cannot do it when you don't have right attitude. You cannot do it when you're not ready to grow every day. And iLead comes in to fill up that gap and to say, hey, we are the ones, no one else. It starts with me. It's not the accountability of someone else. And when you have that mindset, and I have the same mindset, that brings in something like collective efforts to make Rwanda that we want to see. If you dream to see Rwanda becoming the best country on the continent, ask yourself, what is my responsibility? Because as I conclude, you should not be asking the country what it is willing to do for you.
Yeah.
You should be in position to say, what can I do for my country?
Exactly.
And when you have that mindset, you will take up the accountability, you will take up the responsibility. And when you are even held accountable, you have what to say because you're doing something. Thank you.
So as we come to the end of today's podcast, I would like to ask one question to both of you. It says, if one of the youth or a student is listening to this podcast, becomes a leader in 2045, what one value do you hope they never compromise? Merci. And why?
I'd say it's the same value. It's the same value of commitment. Because it's good to have, I was about to also to say, taking initiative, taking initiative. But I remembered we see many have done projects. We see many people going there, sitting on chairs, telling us they will deliver results. And those same people, when they are held accountable, you see that it reached in the middle, and everyone was like, I don't see any way out. I don't see any way out. So if someone was to be a leader in 2045, remaining 5 years for us to reach the 2050 vision, I would say that whatever you put your hands on, put on commitment. We want Rwanda to be known as a country of people who work on projects and gets it done. And not just for the sake of showing it, but pour into their hearts whatever they are doing and make sure it gets completed.
Mr. Alexander?
Yeah, thank you. For me, I will wrap up all the values in one value, which is choices. Because I love the value of commitment. But when you look at commitment itself, you cannot commit if you don't choose to commit. You cannot have take responsibility if you don't choose to. So the value of choices, for me, it's really a game changer, because everything starts with the choices. Life starts with no choices, Maxwell says. But as you grow, the gift of choosing for yourself starts, and it grows. So the more options that you have on the table, because drugs can be here, and a lot of opportunities can be here, and because maybe you feel recognized and you feel like, you are a great young person by, boozing or taking, smoking and doing all those funny things you are enjoying. But that is a choice. But if you choose to go and volunteer or intern, that is also a choice. I love in the book of Maxwell, in I Choose book, and he's talking about choices, and he says not making a choice is also a choice. And the choices you make affect you and those around you. So to me, the game changer value that really wraps every other value inside is the value of choices. When you choose well, life becomes better. When you choose bad, life becomes bad, not just for you, but for everyone around you. Thank you.
Thank you, merci. Thank you, Mr. Alexander, for being with us today. And life starts with no choices. But the more you keep on growing, you keep on making choices, and you are who you are because of the choices you have made along the way. So, for a nation to thrive and become successful, it all depends on the choices made by our leaders. And for you to become and reach on your goals, it's all based on the choices that you make. So thanks all for tuning in to develop and learn more about leadership values, and see you next time on the next episode. Ciao, ciao.